everyone, it's NonnaGrace, and I'm from Western New York. I have to adjust myself. I felt like I was sitting crooked. The camera's not angled at me right. I got to turn it just a hair. So I didn't do anything today, but Jim did do something today. You want to tell your story?
Had to go get a fuse for the tractor, and when I went to Auto Supply, or AutoZone, actually, AutoZone, they told me I had to wait outside because they were at their store limit. And there was like 6 people inside.
It's pretty
so I
sad.
had to wait.
6 people, and you had to wait. Good thing it wasn't raining, because there's a storm coming. I got the weather alert. It said that there's supposed to be a bad storm, rainstorm coming. So we're going to get rain again. It did have sunshine today. And
we had a lot of rain and lightning last night, in the middle of the night.
I didn't hear it. I was sleeping like a log, I guess. I was a log. I didn't sleep like a baby because babies wake up in the middle of the night. I didn't do that. I slept like a log. You know, today I watched Granny B. I'll tell this. I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? Well, I watched Granny B today, and she was talking about outhouses.
You'll always find something.
Yeah, well, Granny B helped me, not knowing it. And she was talking about sitting in the outhouse and how the daddy long-legged spiders are there and different things. You'd have to go to Granny B. I'll link her little channel down below so that you can find her, because it is so hard to find channels. They say the name, but you go to look, and if they're... I have a hard time finding them. And if they have their subscriptions blocked, I can't even go into their subscriptions and look for that channel to find it, because if you can find it, you can click on the picture or the name and it will bring you to that channel. That's why, another reason why it's nice to have your subscriptions show, so if people are looking for somebody, they can find them. And so anyways, well, Granny B talked about an outhouse, and it brought to mind me with the daddy long legs. Now, I have 3 brothers, and one brother and I share our birthday. He is exactly 2 years older than me. Well, he knew I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of spiders, I was afraid of snakes, I was afraid of mice, I was afraid of everything. Creepy crawly, anything I was afraid of, except I was never afraid of worms. Worms were okay. So he used to like to chase me with daddy long leg spiders, and this one day I was running and screaming my head off because he's chasing me with this thing, and he's going like this, and he's gonna get in you don't know what he has, and it was a weed. That's all it was a weed. And I was afraid of the cow too, and the cow just kind of moseys it. The cow really wasn't going to do anything to me.
It was not a bull, right?
No, it was a cow. It was our milking cow. And he had brought the cow back from the pasture, and for whatever reason, he just drops the lead, and the cow just kind of moseys. It's not going to run away. It's not going to go anywhere. Well, I got scared of the cow because it was moseying my direction, and we used to have this old car that was parked by the barn. I don't know why that car was there. Well, it didn't stay there long. And inside, so I opened the car door, got inside, and when I'm inside, I'm thinking, oh, good grief, there's spiders everywhere in here. So I got out of the car, ran in front of the cow, and ran in, and I told on my brother. I told on him, yes. Another time we were out in the garden pulling weeds, and of course there's garden snakes out there. Well, knowing I'm afraid of snakes, he picks up the snake, and he goes, woo, 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 and he throws it. And it went around my neck, came off. And of course I told on him again. He was getting told on all the time. And the outhouse thing, when we had an outhouse in the barn, and so in the summer you were supposed to use that. And you go down there, and you know, the barns have those creepy...
Where was it? Upstairs or down?
Downstairs. It was downstairs in the barn. And you go down into the back door, or you could go down the trap door, but going down the trap door was always kind of scary too, because you never knew if there was going to be a spider that would come down on you when you were going down the trap door that was from the upstairs, because there was 2 ways in and out of the barn. But
From the front, was it level with the ground, or
yeah,
was it all
yes.
underground?
No. It's like our barn, actually. The front, except the front is level with the ground, and then the back was down in the ground. So when you ran down the little hill and you went into the back door, and the outhouse was in there, and the potty was in there, and the toilet paper roll was, oh yes, there was toilet paper. I knew that subject would come up somewhere.
No Sears catalog?
No Sears catalog. It was hanging on a nail. They used to have a nail, and the roll was hanging on the nail, and you always were worried about there could be a spider inside that toilet paper roll, even, because it depends on how often it was used and how often it was moved as to whether there was a spider there. Plus, when you sat on the box with the hole, it was a single hole potty, in case they want to know before you ask. I was always afraid that a spider was going to climb up the edge of it and bite me on my Kulu. But, it never happened. But it was real scary. And I remember the one time my brother had me ride the cow into the barn. Oh, this was a double scare, because, in the barn, the cow's back was just low enough for me to lay on its back and go past the doorway, which the doorway could have those big old fat barn spiders. Those barn spiders are creepy. They've got real big bellies with legs, and back on the daddy long legs, I'll go back to them too. My brother, he used to say, if you don't hold this daddy long leg, I'll throw it at you. Well, I used to have to hold a daddy long leg. He used to pull all the legs off. It was kind of nasty. If you guys like insects, I'm sorry. He was nasty. He would pull all the legs off, and there'd be one leg going like this. You'd have to hold it, and here's it's going like this, and you're hoping that body stays away from you. But yeah, it's either hold it or I'll throw it at you. And he would have thrown it at me.
Must be that's where Emily gets her fear of bugs.
I don't know. No, because she just is ridiculous. There was another time that I used to be afraid to go down in the basement too, because in the basement, just one time, going into the basement, you go from the stairs to the part that my father dug, and then you go into the main basement. And in the main basement, there was like a little ditch so that if the water came down the walls, it would follow the ditch, and your basement stayed dry. Well, one time there was a big, oh my goodness, a huge spider. It looked like those old barn spiders. And I stepped over, but as I stepped over, I'm screaming. So I was always afraid to go down in the basement again, because if there was a spider there once, there might be a spider there again. So I guess this is a spider talk today. It really ended up with telling tales of long ago. And if there was a mouse in the house, oh, there we go again. My brother, if I knew he was going to the attic to get the mouse trap, I used to hide in the bathroom. That was the only room that we had a lock on. This was after the bathroom was built. When I was younger, he was too young to go get the mice. So now he's old enough he can go up in the attic and get the mouse trap, and he's going, ah! That's horrible. He used to do that right at you. And so I used to hide in the bathroom, and Anita was never afraid of these things, so he never bothered her. I don't know if she really wasn't afraid, or if she just could pretend better. But he knew I was scared to death of him, and he would have wiggled that mouse in my face. And no, thank you. Even when Jim goes up in the attic to get a mouse trap, he's not mean. He puts it in the can and takes it out. I don't even want to see it, because it's creepy. Well, that is the stories of today, when I was growing up. I hope you enjoyed this crazy video. That's, I think the chickens, will add the chickens in before I say goodbye. I thought for sure I wasn't going to have to talk about having to chase them in the fence today because they were doing so good. And it was about 5 o'clock. I heard Jake go, "Roo, roo, roo, roo," and it was like, oh man, what's he after? And I looked out, and sure enough, there's the mama. She's got her wings out like this, and she's ready to attack him. She had her 2 babies out. So Rosie and Annie, that's what I named the other one because I'm hoping they're girls, were outside of the fence along with the mama. So I opened the door and I scooched them towards the door, and then only Rosie went and followed her mama. And what's Annie doing? Going back and forth. Annie, no, you have to follow. So I went back, and in the meantime, other chickens are coming to the door, which if they came out, I would have a real problem. Because to corral them all back, it's like trying to put ants back in a box. Have you ever put ants in a box? I haven't. That's another, not me. I never did. I always wanted an ant house thing, but I never had an ant house. But I remember in school them having the ants, and so it'd be like trying to put ants in the box. And we'll just leave it there. Okay. Well, that's it for today. I hope you had a great day, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow. We'll see ya. Bye. I forgot to tell you. Hello again. It's me, NonnaGrace. I forgot to tell you, I'm going to share with you a little bit of Jake, what he has to do when I'm going to give him his food. He has to sit, wait for the okay. And the same thing with his treat. He has to sit and he has to wait, and I put the treat right up next to his nose. And he has to wait until I say okay, and then he can have it. Okay, Jake, sit. Okay. Good boy. Every day I give Jake a snack. We're going to see if he can behave with the camera. I put it really close to his nose, and he has to wait. Okay. Well, that's all. Now we can go. Okay, bye.